reciting our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome everyone to tonight's regular meeting of the Lewiston City Council, February 12, 2024. Our next item of business is citizen comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the council on agenda items or other items they wish to bring to the attention of the council. Citizens are encouraged to discuss operational issues in advance with the mayor in consideration of others wishing to speak. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Also, please introduce your city of residence and your name. The Lewiston City Council also pledges to practice and promote civility within the governing body, advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of the city of Lewiston. If there are any citizens here tonight, there's a microphone. You can take the microphone there. Please remember to speak up loudly and clearly so those here up at the dais and those listening at home can hear what you have to say. Welcome.
Council members, my name is Curtis Sandow, and I live at 105 22nd Avenue in Lewiston. A few years ago, the council, not you folks, bought the Bollinger building, and for the life of me, they had no business getting into that. But here you are going to spend $800,000 or more to buy the P factory. And if it's true that some or all of the ground is contaminated, that's probably going to cost another $250,000 to dig up, haul off, and dispose of properly, and then you have that building on the end. You are not professional developers. In fact, there's been a lot of professionals that have looked at that ground and walked away, starting way back when the council then had Hagedorn come down and figured he was just going to jump right all over that. And you are not professional developers and shouldn't get us taxpayers involved in that. And if you have that kind of money laying around, there are lots of streets in this town that need help, a lot, and they need to be taken care of. And another thing you could help with is to help people like me that were dumb enough and stupid enough to obey your water restrictions this past summer. My lawn is gone, and I understand that no one was fined and that there's a lot of green lawns. In fact, I've talked to several neighbors that said, yeah, there were people that continued to water and just got away with it. And my lawn is dead. And it's going to cost me $6,500 to replace. I can't do it myself. I'm too old. Probably is going to end up more. My neighbor across the street has a bigger yard, and it's going to cost him in excess of $7,500. This is not right. And I think I'll be bringing you the bill when I get it done in March or April and let you pay for that $6,500. And then the one thing that really disgusts me is I see that one of those houses that was decimated by that rupture is having to sue you folks to get some kind of compensation. And you, Mr. Mayor, is in charge, and the council have given you all the power you need. And all of you should have been out there and told those 2 or 3 people that had their houses wiped out on day 1 or day 2 to go get 2 bids and get it fixed. This is ridiculous that you've been making them jump through the hoops for a year. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I don't know any of those people. I wouldn't know. Maybe they're here. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Move up on the microphone a little bit if you can, please, so we can hear you.
I might try dancing. Not a problem. Good evening, and thank you for your service to our community. I'm Vicki Fadness, and I live here in Lewiston. The reason I'm here tonight, forgive me, I'm going to have to read. The reason I'm here tonight is because I read an article in the Idaho State Journal where Blackfoot Mayor Mark Carroll and Bingham County Commissioners passed and signed a joint resolution in full support of library autonomy, thus ensuring, and I quote, all society members who seek knowledge and information in pursuant of learning and recreation, unquote, can do so. Today, the Senate Affairs Committee took testimony on House Bill 1289. Through the testimony and both of the legislatures and the audience, they voted and it was then passed to the House. This makes the third year Lewiston libraries have faced legislation regarding minors' access to library materials. So as a resident of the city, I'm asking that you take similar action in support of our city library. If you have not visited the library, please do so. If you have questions, Lynn Johnson, the director of the library, can help you, or Colleen Olive, the youth services librarian, can answer your questions. During these 3 years of uncertainty, librarians have kept the library in excellent running smoothly. Parents continue to have easy access to monitoring their children's library choices. Librarians continue to help parents locate books and authors that are suitable for their children, and everyone's behaviors are being monitored. Unfortunately, these bills rest on the shoulders of our librarians and our volunteers. So therefore, either with a joint resolution collectively on your part or individually, I'd like you to take a minute or two to contact the librarians and thank them for their work during this kind of stressful couple of years. I have a sheet here to leave that summarizes the article in the Idaho State Journal and tells you how to access that article at home. So if you wanted to read the whole thing. Do you have any questions? Good. Where do I put these?
You can, if you would leave those with our city clerk, she'll make sure that at least I get a copy. We'll make sure the counselors get a copy.
Great. And I really enjoyed reading the 4 pages in the Live Lewiston on the library. That was very nice. Thank you. Here you go.
Further citizen comments? Okay. We'll move on to Roman numeral 4, the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these issues unless the councilor so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered on the active agenda under items moved from the consent agenda. Councilors?
Mayor,
Councilor Lidkey?
I'd move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Lidkey, seconded by Councilor Schroeder, to approve the consent agenda. Is there discussion? Clerk Brockie?
Council President Kleber,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Klein. Aye. Councilor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next up, we'll move to the agenda item, Roman numeral 5, item A, United Airlines minimum revenue guarantee. Receiving an update regarding negotiations of a minimum revenue guarantee agreement with United Airlines for the 2024 fiscal year and discussion regarding the same. Counselors, for your benefit here, I have prepared some written statements, which I will read from. Council update, February 12th, 2024. During the January 29th meeting, I explained that the city was waiting for a minimum revenue guarantee agreement between United Airlines and the city of Lewiston, as well as a response from the Federal Aviation Administration regarding the draft MRG to ensure compliance with federal and state laws and regulations. We are still waiting for a minimum revenue guarantee MRG agreement between United Airlines and the city of Lewiston, with the term and conditions as presented at the joint Lewiston Airport, Nez Perce County, City of Lewiston meeting. As a refresher, the general authority to enter into an MRG exists within Idaho statutes and case law. The Idaho State Legislature has previously declared that the operation of airports is a public necessity exercised for a public purpose. While the term operation is undefined in Idaho code, the Idaho Attorney General's office previously stated that the operation of an airport also includes the ability of a city to contract for the provision of air service to and from the airport on behalf of its citizens, including contracts for MRGs. However, while cities have the general authority to enter into contracts directly with airlines, careful consideration must be given as to the structure, drafting, and detail of any agreement so as not to run afoul of state constitutional provisions and federal regulations. The FAA also provided important information related to the proposed funding structure. An FAA representative explained that the city is considered an airport sponsor subject to FAA grant assurances because the city is a joint owner of the airport, which receives federal funding. As such, any arrangement where the city provides a minimum revenue guarantee to an airline must comply with the FAA grant assurances, specifically Grant Assurance 25, which prohibits payments in any form from airport revenue to a carrier for operating at the airport, including for providing air service at the airport, and Grant Assurance 22, which requires the airport sponsor to allow access by aeronautical operators and services on reasonable terms and without unjust discrimination. Generally speaking, this means that an airport sponsor must treat all airport users making the same or similar use of the airport in a uniform manner, and while an airport sponsor may treat similarly situated users differently, those differences cannot be unjust. With this information, we have been diligently researching this matter and attempting to get concrete answers from the FAA regarding the scope and extent of these grant assurances. I spoke to the FAA representative last week, and he suggested that we reach out to the FAA Compliance Division with any additional questions. I did that, and we are waiting to hear back from them. Counselors, that's my update. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them. If not, I'm happy. Counselor Kleber?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So basically where we're at right now is we're still waiting to put together some final language.
That's correct, Counselor. And then also, we're waiting to hear back from the Compliance Division for the FAA. We sent some questions to them, and they are researching those questions, and they will get an answer back to us very soon. Counselor Kleberg?
And just to follow up, and we have communicated this to United.
Counselor Kleberg, I have not communicated that to United. I think United is probably waiting for us to respond in some fashion, which we will when we have the information we need.
Okay.
Counselor Spickelmeyer?
Yeah, initially, when we were talking with the county and the airport, they had said that the January 30th was gonna be like the deadline of getting something in place, so have they, mentioned that they'll keep providing the service until the contract is decided upon?
Counselor, my understanding is that yes is the short answer. They're still flying. The city was recently provided with a new schedule that takes effect April 1, which is the schedule that we are interested in pursuing through this MRG. So until we hear differently from the Airport of United, that's my assumption. There's no further questions. We will move on to item B, Resolution 2024-3, considering accepting and approving a right-of-way contract and claim for payment between Charles A. Brown and Virginia Brown as grantors and the City of Lewiston as grantee, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest the contract and claim for payment. This is an action item. Looks like we have our Director, Public Works Director here with us tonight, Justin Johnson. Director Johnson, please introduce yourself for the record. The floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Dustin Johnson, Public Works Director. Real quick in front of you tonight is, as the mayor has already outlined, a right-of-way acquisition for Snake River Road. This is a project that's been in the works for several years. We have been working on right-of-way acquisition there, as it was called out in the packet, 4 properties that we're working to acquire right-of-way from. This is the first one that you should expect to see. It's a whopping 0.003 acres. This is being paid through the STP fund, so it's a 92.66% federal portion and a 7.34% local portion, which means the federal is paying $11.38 and the city is paying $90 for the right-of-way acquisition. Quick project update. This was the one Snake River Road that was awarded this strategic initiatives. I believe that was through the governor's office. So that will fast track this project even faster than it was already on. So the expectation will be complete design, right-of-way acquisition, and out to bid for construction of 2025. I'm here for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Director. Councilors, Councilor Schroeder. Motion's in order.
I move to consider accepting and approving a right-of-way contract and claim for payment between Charles A. Brown and Virginia Brown as grantors and the City of Lewiston grantor, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest the contract and claim for payment.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Councilor Kleberg to approve Resolution 2024-3. Is there discussion? Further discussion? Clerk Rocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Klein. Aye. Councilor Spickelmeyer.
Aye.
Thank you, councilors. Next up, item C, Resolution 2024-4, considering declaring various items of City of Lewiston property to be surplus and providing for the public auction of said surplus property. This is an action item. Councilors, if you have questions, we can ask our Finance Director, Ms. Gordon, to take the stand, or I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lidkey?
I would move to approve Resolution 2024-4.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Lidkey, seconded by Councilor Forsman to approve Resolution 2024-4. Clerk Rocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Klein. Aye. Councilor Spickelmeyer.
Aye.
Thank you, councilors. We'll next move to item D, ordinances number 1, 2nd, and 3rd readings. Item A, ordinance 4909, considering implementing the city council's decision in CNC 23-7, declaring that certain real property be removed from the higher density residential R4 zone to the general commercial C4 zone and amending the official zoning map of the city of Lewiston. This is an action item. Councilor Kleberg.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to combine the 2nd and 3rd readings and waive the 3rd reading in full of ordinance 4909.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Kleberg, second by Councilor Schroeder to approve, or to combine the 2nd and 3rd readings and waive the 3rd reading in full of ordinance number 4909. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Kleberg.
Make a motion to approve the 2nd and 3rd readings of ordinance 4909.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Kleberg, second by Councilor Schroeder to approve the 2nd and 3rd readings of ordinance number 4909. Is there any discussion or amendments? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Clerk Brockie?
Approving the second and third readings of ordinance 4909, an ordinance of the city of Lewiston implementing the city council's decision in ZNC 23-7, declaring that certain real property be removed from the higher density residential R4 zone to the general commercial C4 zone, amending the official zoning map of the city of Lewiston and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Councilors, under D2, adoption and approval of ordinance summaries. Item A, ordinance 4909, action item. Councilor Schroeder,
I move to approve ordinance number 4909, approve the related ordinance summary.
Second.
it's been moved by Councilor Schroeder, seconded by Councilor Forsman to adopt ordinance number 4909 and approve the related ordinance summary. Is there discussion? Clerk Brockie?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Klein,
Aye.
Councilor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Thank you, councilors. Item E, recent statement ZNC 23-7 concerning approval of the recent statement of relevant criteria and standards for ZNC 23-7. This is an action item. Councilor Schroeder,
Move to approve the reason statement for ZNC 23-7.
Second.
been moved by Councilor Schroeder, seconded by Councilor Kleberg to approve the reason statement for ZNC 23-7. Is there discussion? Those in favor of approving the reason statement as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilors, next we have item F, Bollinger Building, considering the offers to purchase the Ann Bollinger Performing Arts Center by prospective purchasers. This is an action item. We're going to have a presentation here. Hi. Why don't we start off with our Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Jennifer Tangano, and then she can go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Jennifer Tangano, Assistant City Attorney. I have our realtors here for the Bollinger Building to give a quick update as far as what's been going on, and then I'm going to follow up on the next steps from there. So I'll let Gary go ahead and give a little bit of a presentation.
Mr. Mayor, council members, we did get another letter of intent. This is developer out of the Seattle area. To give you an update on our first LOI that we got, she has opted to sit back and wait until, in her words, something is done for parking for the building. The second letter of intent that we've got, we do have, I think you should have in your packet, proof of funds. He's got a lot of experience in the Seattle area developing everything from older buildings to gas stations, et cetera. He does not have an immediate plan, but is definitely interested in the building. He's had one visit over here, and we've talked to him for about the last month and a half. Any questions I can answer?
Councilors, any questions? Councilor Lidkey?
Can we get a name so we can make the motion?
It's Myron Gemmer. Gemmer.
Can you do that one more time?
It's Myron, M-Y-R-O-N, Gemmer, Gemmer.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, councilors. Jennifer Tangano, Assistant City Attorney again. So at this point, the last direction the city council gave was to approve the previous letter of intent and move forward with negotiating and getting a purchase and sale agreement signed. A purchase and sale agreement was drafted and sent to the current prospective buyer, Athena Who LLC, at the beginning of January. That agreement has not been signed, and as Gary indicated that she does not wish to move any further until the parking issue is resolved. Presumably, what she's referring to is Trevitt Park and a decision being made regarding that property. However, that is a completely separate matter and cannot currently be lumped in with that project because of the fact that it is also city property and would have to go through the entire surplus process to be able to include it. And we cannot guarantee that the person who is interested in buying the Bollinger Building at this time would also be the person who could acquire Trevitt Park, because it would have to be sold at a public auction. And in that instance, the highest bidder would be the purchaser of that property. So there is no contingency that the city can offer as far as that park at this time. My recommendation to the city council would then be to discontinue those negotiations with Athena Who LLC and consider approving, moving forward with the most current letter of intent, if that is what the council's wish is. Additionally, the current contract for the listing is going to expire towards the end of March. This current prospective buyer, any potential contract with them would extend beyond that. And if that were to fail or fail to close for any reason, the listing agreement would have expired at this time or at that time. My understanding is that Gary would like to either extend the existing contract or have a new one signed that would extend that date as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. Counselor, questions?
Mayor.
Counselor Force?
So there's no, just so I make sure I understand this correctly, there's no way for us to make that property be like one sale, where if you get the Bollinger Building, you also get the piece of property through any kind of form. No, we can't do it with her because she would have to follow a process, but in the future, if we wanted to maybe put that on the table to try to eliminate complication, is that available or feasible?
There is the possibility of doing that. It's not feasible at this point.
Right.
In order to do that, we would have to go through the process of declaring that property underutilized and subject to sale, and then go through the surplus process. If we were to do that currently with the Bollinger Building, we would have to terminate the existing listing agreement because we are in contract with TMBMC to list that property for sale. It would also take that property off of the market in the meantime, and so we could not continue with any prospective buyers. Then we would have to go through the process of re-auctioning the properties together if we were to sell them at the same time, and then go through the process of the public notice, the auction itself, and then determining whether or not there's a buyer. If there's not a buyer, then we could continue with the existing process of having a listing agent try to sell the property for us. But even under that instance, it would take several more months just to get to the point where we could again sell the property. My understanding too is that the city has not yet received a recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Department and then the Parks and Rec Committee about the property on what their recommendation to the city council is on what to do with that property.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Schroeder?
Oh, I thought Hannah said,
Oh, Counselor
ahead.
Lickey?
I'll pass it over.
For a motion,
Motion's in order.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
I would move to, number one, terminate negotiations with Athena Who LLC for failure to maintain contact with the realtor. 2, direct the city's realtor to prepare a response accepting Myron Gemmer's letter of intent. 3, direct staff to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement with Mr. Gemmer. And 4, authorize the preparation of other necessary conveyance documents for the city council's consideration.
Second.
It's been moved by Counselor Lickey, second by Counselor Kleberg, to terminate negotiations with Athena Hugh LLC for failure to maintain contact with the realtor. Direct the city's realtor to prepare a response accepting Myra Gemmer's letter of intent. Direct staff to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement with Myra Gemmer and authorize the preparation of other necessary conveyance documents for the city council's consideration. Is there discussion? Counselor Schroeder?
Do we need to include in this motion that we would like to extend the real estate contract?
I don't think so at this time. This just deals with this offer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a separate item, Counselor. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Karen Tammy, for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jennifer. Councilors, we next move to Roman numeral 7, unfinished and new business. Item A, city councilor comments. Comments shall not be related to an item currently before the city council or an item that may come before the city council in the foreseeable future, and shall be limited to comments, not discussion.
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman.
I just want to let some citizens know, I did receive calls about some concerns. I just wanted to let them know that I did hear them. Some of the messages were hard for me to hear. I don't know if it was on my end or theirs, but I did want to ensure you I listened to them and I appreciate them and I'm taking them in high consideration.
Councilor, other council comments? Councilor Schroeder?
Thank you. This should probably go under liaison updates. Okay, I'll wait for that.
Okay, Councilor Kleber?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I agree with Councilor Forsman. I received several phone calls today and actually had my tablet at work, and I didn't realize that we had changed the motion or the agenda to be discussing United Airlines, but I will just say that I received an email from you and the message I received, there were 3 of them that were all not in support.
Here,
Councilor Klein?
I just wanted to thank everybody for showing up today. I appreciate seeing new faces in the crowd and more people being involved.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay, next we'll move to city boards and commission liaison updates. And I said I was going to do this, and I'm not going to break my promise. So I'm going to take a look at this and just go down the list and ask you if you have any updates on the audit committee. Councilors Klein or Kleberg, any updates for us?
Dawn gave us such an uplifting talk about accounting procedures and the audit that I have found tough to keep my eyes open.
Councilor Litke, Business Improvement District, any update?
None that has not come in front of the council.
Thank you. Councilor Klein, Cemetery and Urban Forestry.
The only thing I had was, there was a Arbor Day. We're working on Arbor Day celebration in Modi Park that they're currently working on. And a presentation was brought to council at the last meeting.
Thank you, Counselor. Code Board of Appeals, I don't think we had that one. Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, I know we're getting that set up. We have some appointments coming up here next. Disability Advisory Commission, Counselor Litke.
Yes, I was not able to attend the last meeting. I had a prior engagement, but prior to that, there was robust conversation about that commission's role in identifying areas that need improved accessibility and how they can play a role in helping our Public Works Department with grants and other avenues of letters of support so that we can create more accessibility throughout our community. And they participate in good conversation and try to improve the awareness of our people with disabilities throughout our community.
Thank you, Counselor. Emergency Medical Services, Counselor Forsman.
They're just working on contracts and getting those, nice and clean, as well as making appointments. So that's pretty much the happenings at the moment.
Thank you, Counselor. Historic Preservation, anything?
That one, my first meeting, so I'm still getting the hang of how that works and the, getting to know the people. So, excited that I was able to attend the first meeting, and to see what kind of strides they make. I know they're working on some, celebrations coming up and working how they're gonna make that happen. I think they set a date. I'll get back on that because I don't have it readily available at this moment, but, yeah,
you.
excited to continue.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Kleberg, Library Board of Trustees, anything to share with us tonight?
No, sir, we have a meeting next week. So it'll be my first meeting.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Speckelmeyer, Parks and Recreation.
No, we have a meeting coming up.
Thank you. And Public Works Advisory, Counselor Schroeder.
Public Works, okay. We are, we had sent a letter to Washington State Department of Transportation regarding the US Highway 12 bridge, interstate bridge, due to the stormwater issues when we had significant rain. And so that's been vetted and sent off. We also are proposing amendments to our bylaws, frequency and scheduling. And so we've got quite a few things going on.
Thank you, counselors. Mayor comments. All right, I have a couple to share here. First of all, I want to start out with President Abraham Lincoln's birthday today. Oh, 1809. I want to share one of his quotes, his famous quotes. Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe." Think about that, and then quotation marks below. Sure, there will be times when you need to act quickly and decisive action is required, but in most cases, taking a step back and being thoughtful about your approach will pay off in the long run. So there's the wisdom for today from our 16th president. And I would also like to remind everyone, tell the public, our latest edition of Living Lewiston is out, so you can find that in different locations around the city. There's some good articles in there, especially with our upcoming Parks and Rec season and other issues. And of course, there's always a message on the inside from the mayor, calling out our volunteers.
Can I go back one?
You
Because
can go, Councilor Schroeder.
I was going to go back and talk about the Metropolitan Planning Organization that I'm on. Can I do that?
You can do that.
Thank you. We have two, actually. Safety action plan is, regional safety action plan is moving along. But we have a Thane Road study that is actually going to have some of the consultants at the Home and Garden Show March 15 and 16. So you might want to stop in, if you get up to the Home and Garden Show and go and stop and find their booth. And they are Kittleford and Associates, and it's the Thane Road Study. So it should be very interesting.
Thank you, Counselor. Next up, we have Roman numeral 7D, Advisory Board and Commission appointments. Item 1, Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, considering the appointment of Garrett Fry, Jake Greco, Stillman Norton, Tim Lynch, and Dunn Young to 3-year terms. Let me just double check some. I move to approve the appointment of Garrett Fry to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee.
Second.
By Mayor Johnson, second by Councilor Lidke, to approve the appointment of Garrett Fry to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. Motion to approve the appointment of Jake Greco to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee.
Second.
By the mayor, seconded by Councilor Forsman, to approve the appointment of Jake Greco to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to approve the appointment of Stillman Norton to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee.
Second.
Been moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilor Klein to approve the appointment of Stillman Norton to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to approve the appointment of Tim Lynch to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee.
Second.
Sorry, I just don't hear well this direction. Okay. Been moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilor Schroeder to approve the appointment of Tim Lynch to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to approve the appointment of Dan Young to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee.
Second.
Been moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilor Forsman to approve the appointment of Dan Young to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you, councilors. Item 2, Planning and Zoning Commission, considering appointing Emily Wolf to a 4-year term. I move to approve the appointment of Emily Wolf to a 4-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
Second, moved by the mayor, second by Councilor Lidkey to approve the appointment of Emily Wolf to a 4-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I should let the public know and those listening here, I do read these appointments. I don't just stamp them, so. Item 3, Historic Preservation Commission, considering the reappointment of Greg Follett for a 3-year term and the appointment of Robert Wrights to a 3-year term.
Second.
Oh, I need a motion here first, but I'll take the second. Who is that? Councilor Schroeder?
Sorry.
Oh,
That was me.
Forsman, okay.
A little early.
I move to approve the reappointment of Greg Follett to a 3-year term on the Historic Preservation Commission, second by Councilor Forsman. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I move to approve the appointment of Robert Wrights to a 3-year term on the Historic Preservation Commission.
Second.
Moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilor Lidkey to approve the appointment of Robert Wrights to a 3-year term on the Historic Preservation Commission. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board, considering the reappointment of Serena Churkey to a 4-year term. I move to approve the reappointment of Serena Churkey to a 4-year term in the Emergency Medical Service Advisory Board.
Second.
Been moved by the mayor, second by Councilor Schroeder. To approve the reappointment of Serena Churkey to a 4-year term on the Emergency Medical Services Board. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Item E, under Roman numeral 7, agenda topics. Councilors. We'll move to Roman numeral 8, adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Kleberg, second by Councilor Schroeder to adjourn. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.